Welcome to the first song breakdown in the Disco series. It's been very difficult to choose a starting point for this series because there are just so many great songs that use this groove. I decided to start here because this song includes no fills, no surprises, just the two most basic applications of this groove. And that's why it's such a good place to start. It gives us a solid foundation before we get to trickier songs later in the series. It's also just a great song, and one that I'm sure many of you know already. The first thing to notice about this song is that the bass drum is playing a steady 4-on-the-floor pattern throughout the entire song. It never stops. We're going to use this as our physical metronome and the foundation on which we relate everything else. I find that a lot of beginning students often try to think and feel each limb separately. And while there are times where we may need to do that, it also makes things much harder for us, especially as beginners. Instead, as much as possible, we want to combine our limbs and movements into complementary pairs or groups. This saves processing power in our brain and helps to actively build the neural pathways that we need to develop smoother, more effortless playing. This is a really important concept, and we'll see a great example of this when we get to the open hi-hat variation later in the song. For now, let's start with the basic closed hi-hat version of this groove. As we can see and hear, the hi-hat is playing on the upbeats in between each bass drum note. The key to making this sound and feel good is to place that motion directly in between each bass drum hit. When you do this, make sure that you're still focusing on the steady rhythm in the foot. Many beginning students will put too much focus onto the hand, and they'll let that affect the timing in the foot. Instead, keep the focus on the foot and just try to feel where that hand goes. If you're just starting with this style, you'll likely find that you have trouble keeping that upbeat hi-hat timing steady for long periods. Maybe you can do it for a few beats or even for a bar or two, but eventually you lose it. So here's one way to approach learning this. Throughout all of these progressions, we'll keep a steady beat on the bass drum. Then we'll simply start from adding one hi-hat note, progressing all the way up to playing 4 bars at a time. I almost forgot to say, I'll be demonstrating everything in this video at song tempo, which is 130 BPM. But you should take things as slow as you need to feel comfortable and successful. Speed will come later. First, just one note. Put this between beats 1 and 2. Focus on perfect timing and smooth motion. Next is 2 beats. Same idea. Steady foot, relaxed, smooth motion. Then add one more note. Now we reach 1 full bar. Repeat this as many times as you need to feel comfortable. And once you're ready, push this to 2 bars. And finally, we reach 4 bars. If you can hold this, you're probably ready to keep the pattern going as long as needed. Once the feeling locks in, it becomes almost automatic. The next step is to add a backbeat on 2 and 4. And again, we want to connect it to something else, not think of it independently. What's the best way to do that? Well, the answer may be different for each of you. One of the most important skills is self-evaluation. When something feels right, notice what you were thinking and feeling. And when it doesn't feel right, notice that too. For myself and almost all of my students, connecting the snare drum to the hi-hat pattern works best. Don't think of these separately. Think of them as one unified pattern. With this approach, the hands feel like right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right. Lay this hand pattern over the steady kick. Right hand in between and left hand falling with the foot. If this is tricky, try building it in short progressions, 1 repetition and then 2, and so on. And if that still doesn't work, try a different connection. Instead, you can try snare with the kick on 2 and 4, and then putting the right hand in between that. Remember, there is no single right answer. Try these approaches, listen to your body, and find what works for you. What we've learned so far already gives us a strong foundation. But you may notice one small detail in the transcription: the hi-hat skips. Some upbeats use two 16th notes instead of a single eighth note. Once your coordination is in place, this isn't too difficult. The bigger question is, how do you want to play it? With a right hand double? Or with alternating strokes? Try both and see which one feels more natural. If both feel good, then develop both. And if neither one feels good, feel free to just leave this out for now. You can always come back to it later. Don't let this one small detail stop you from learning the song. And now, let's move on to the open hi-hat variation, the single most recognizable groove in all of J-pop. The key to this is to combine the feet. Many students overthink this and think of the left foot as independent, and that's much harder. Instead, we want to combine the feet and just move them together. This is so much easier. So many students have an aha moment right here, and the groove just suddenly falls into place. Start with heel down on both feet, moving in eighth notes. Once that feels steady, you can play heel up on the bass while keeping heel down on the hi-hat. This is asymmetrical and requires a bit more coordination, but it adds power to the kick when needed. Again, so often, once we learn to connect the feet, everything else just seems to fall into place. If the open hi-hat is throwing you off, don't worry. Just go back and revisit those earlier hi-hat and snare progressions, but now with the left foot and the open hi-hat added. If you can do everything we've covered here, you're ready to play this song. And you've got a strong start in this style. The foundations we've built here will carry over throughout the songs in the rest of the series. So, the more solid you make this now, the easier the rest of the series will feel. As always, if you have any questions, please leave a comment and I'll do my best to respond. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. If you want to keep working on this song, Patreon is where all of the learning resources for this channel live. You can join the community and download the TV-size sheet music for free there. The link is on screen and in the description. Thanks again for watching, and now, the outtakes. And that's why it's such a good place to start. And that's why it's such a good place to start. Again. First, just one beat. Put this in between. In between what? I find that a lot of beginning students often try to think and feel each limb separately. Oh, no, we're not doing that. No.